We are surrounded by screens every day, literally. There's some kind of visual content around us at all times, and a lot of those times, it's hard to switch off. I guess that's why I enjoy reading. You're not really looking at a screen, and with screen overload, that feels pretty good. When you're reading a book, you're looking at a beautiful piece of historical art, and it just feels so, wait, am I reading a screen? I love books. Literally. I love buying books. Like on Amazon, I just order a book pretty much every month. But for my birthday, I got an e-reader, and I gotta say, I love this thing. Now, I know the whole e-reader and traditional book rivalry is almost as bad as the Capulets and the Montagues. But should you get an e-reader? Well, here are some honest reasons why I really love my e-reader. First, size. Books are, how you say, heavy. The greatest thing about e-readers is that they're incredibly small and light, so packing in my bag is just so easy. Also, it's easier to read and hold, especially while you're lying down. And because I'm pretty weak, books typically, well, that. Second, the features. The one thing I absolutely love about e-readers is changing the font size. I didn't think this would be something I would care about, but honestly, it makes a huge difference in reading. The other thing is the built-in dictionary and highlighter. Being able to look up words and highlight passages is pretty convenient and, you know, isn't something you really need, but when you have it, you actually use it pretty well. And the third is storage. Honestly, there's so many times where I don't want to just bring one book on a trip, I want to bring multiple, because I don't like reading the same thing. Some days I like to read poetry, some days I like to read fiction, some days I like to read non-fiction, and I like having that choice. But imagine carrying all those books with you. It's pretty heavy and, you know, not easy. So the thing I love about my e-reader is that I can bring as many books with me as I want. But my favorite feature of an e-reader is being able to access my library. Having access to tons of free ebooks without actually having to leave my house, talk to anybody, or pay for it is probably the best thing in the world. I've literally found so many awesome books just by going to my library and just downloading something and checking it out.
There's a lot of other cool things about e-readers that I didn't really want to mention just because I didn't feel like they were necessary, but I'll mention them now. So one thing that a lot of e-readers nowadays have is like a backlight. That's usually actually quite soft, so reading at night isn't like looking at your phone. The light's actually kind of softer, and they have like some really cool like yellow light, blue light technology. I don't really pay attention to that, but the backlight feature is really cool. And the other thing that I really like about e-readers is that I remember when I had an open book test in university, and my textbook was obviously on my e-reader, so she told us a passage to look up, so I literally just typed it on my e-reader, and I was ahead of everybody. And it was fantastic. I mean, you know, I don't know if it's always allowed. The teachers seem to allow me, but yeah, I mean, e-readers are really good, and I definitely do recommend them. I really like my e-reader. I've had e-readers before this, as I mentioned before, and I mean, it's just helpful. But I think the real question that we should be asking is, will e-readers really dominate and just eliminate traditional books? And I don't think the answer is yes. I think the answer is completely no, because when you look at a traditional book, there's so much to it that people don't like. It's magic. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's magic. I mean, you go through the book, you sift through the pages, you can go from one page to the next, but just like, you know, the smell of it, the experience of reading it, just holding onto a book, looking at it from like a distance, just having it, like the cover art and everything, it's beautiful. And I don't think e-readers can ever take that away from traditional books. So this video isn't trying to say that, you know, everything's going to go to e-readers, because it's not. I feel that they can kind of coexist together, kind of like brothers and robots. But I mean, definitely hold on to your regular books, but it's really helpful to have an e-reader just because it's easier to take, you know, wherever you go. It's easy to travel with. It contains so many books. It's so light. I mean, I've always wanted to read this book, but I always read outside of the house, and I'm never going to read this. Like, look how thick it is. It's going to be impossible to carry. I think I did it once, and I gave up. Yeah. So, that's it for the video. I would definitely suggest buying an e-reader. I can go into the details if you want of the difference between the Kobo and the Kindle, because I've used them both. If you would like to know that, leave that in the comments below. And I hope this video helps you, and I hope you do get an e-reader, because I really think it's cool. It's definitely a cool thing to have. I personally think it helps reading, but you know, to each his own. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully. So, take care.